Hello and good day to each and everyone. So for today we're tackling about the topic chapter 3 social and cultural development. So before that, the educational system back when we were still occupied by the Spanish colonial system, it was that the friars were the one who's controlling the early education of the Filipino people. And back then, during the Spanish colonization, the Spaniards missionaries were the first teacher during that time, such as religious obedience and fear of God were central of education. Not until that classrooms are improvised, no such thing as real schools until the 1855, not until that education is fully established. Although there was law requiring children to be taught in Spanish, but they were instructed through the vernacular. So before then, education was not meant for the Filipino people. It is more to empower the Spanish colonialization and make them obedient to Spanish rule. Instead of intellectual development, the focus of education back then during the colonialization, it was that the religious teachings and submission to Spanish authority. Although there are some laws that are required for students to be teach, but friar use local language instead because the friars feared that learning Spanish would be to empower Filipinos to start a revolution against the system or the Spaniards. Friars strongly opposed teaching Spanish to Filipinos. So as I said earlier, they do not want to teach Filipino student, especially the Spanish language, because they feared that if ever Filipino people were to learn how to use Spanish or to understand any Spanish language, is they are afraid that they would overthrow the system out and start a revolution for freedom. And books and reading materials were censored by the church and government. So friars regularly teach Filipino, but they handpick the topics that they are going to teach. They're going to teach the Filipino people because they are afraid that Filipino people, if they get smarter, they would again overthrow the Spanish. As the main purpose of education of why it was established is that the education system was designed to control and not educate Filipinos. So as I said earlier, they handpick the topics that they are going to teach to the Filipino people. It is the reason why it is to establish control rather than to educate the Filipino people. As the friars kept Filipino in ignorance by limiting their I'm sorry, as I said earlier, um, friars kept Filipinos in ignorance by limiting their access to Spanish and censoring reading materials. Again, the main reason is to keep the Filipino people in line, and not teach them the whole thing because again they're afraid that Filipino people might become smarter than them and overthrow them and held them with their power. Next is the education during Rizal's time. So during the late 18th to early 19th century, education in the Philippines is still under the supervision and ministry of Catholic friars, as friars played a dominant role in teaching and shaping the curriculum, ensuring that Spanish colonial interests were maintained. So the Spanish government used education to reinforce the colonial rule and suppress Filipino nationalism. Schools promoted loyalty to Spain and religious institute rather than critical thinking and progressive knowledge. So, um, during Rizal's time, when he is having his education, um, mostly that the friars are the one that dominant the education system in which they are the one ruling or govern what they would teach to Filipino students. And of course, the education there is very limited. Again, not to make them not to make them smarter, but to keep them in line so they could suppress them with their power. So to stop them from critical thinking and progressive knowledge. So to continue, what is the Educational Decree of 1863? It was introduced to public schooling but was still restrictive as friars kept Filipino in ignorance by, of course, limiting their access to knowledge, and as this education system prevented Filipinos from advancing socially and politically, which later fueled the desire of the Filipino people to actually learn and to reform a revolution. Now, in education during Rizal's time, by the 19th century, the Spanish government started taking a more active role in education, shifting to gradually reduce the religious orders over school. Now, state-sponsored education aimed to modernize learning while still ensuring Spanish influence over Filipinos. The return of Jesuits and their influence during Rizal's time, and the Jesuits were expelled from the Philippines in 1768, but again returned in the 1859. So, during Rizal's time, the education was rather a tool for colonialization as the Spanish government used an education to reinforce colonial rule and to suppress Filipino. Now, by the 19th century, it is by the order of the Spanish government to actually reduce the religious teaching to Filipino students, but rather more over for school for educational purposes. Now, establishment of Ateneo Municipal de Manila, also known right now as the Ateneo de Manila University. In 1859, the Jesuits took over the Escuela Municipal that is now later renamed as Ateneo Municipal de Manila in 1865. As the school accepted Filipinos, Spaniards, and mestizos, marking a significant development in accessibility to higher education. Now, in this time and in that school, particularly, subjects taught included, of course, the Latin, Spanish, Greek, French, and English as reflecting European influences as the Spanish are part of the European. So Jose Rizal studied in Ateneo Municipal while it was still in Intramuros, Manila, shaping his intellectual and national ideas. So back then, Ateneo Municipal was not located to its current location now, but rather it was in Intramuros, and that is where Rizal took his study that gradually helped him to shape his intellectual and national ideas. Now, the return of Jesuits and their influence, as I said earlier, the Jesuits were expelled from the Philippines in 1768 but returned in 1859. They brought new educational methods and played a major role in improvising the Philippine education system as the Spanish government ordered to reduce the religious teaching and to promote more rather in educational. So they were tasked with an evangelizing Mindanao and modern modernizing instruction. Now again, the establishment of the Ateneo Municipal de Manila, also known as the Ateneo de Manila University, as the Jesuits took over the Escuela Municipal, the school accepted Filipinos, Spaniards, and mestizos. So there were a time where a sudden shift of acceptance in school were engaged during that time. So it evolved into a secondary school offering an advanced curriculum similar for today's college education. Now, as I said earlier, subjects were taught such as Greek, French, English in European influence. Now, Rizal's ideas and proposals for educational reforms. Establishment. Oh, so this was the idea of Rizal and his proposal for a reform in the field of education. So establishment of free public education system, education for Indios. During that time, we were called Indios or our native Filipinos. Rise of the Ilustrados, mass education for Foundation for Freedom, his advocacies for academic and freedom, the promotion of well-balanced education. So during that time, Rizal had a very, very revolutionary idea of what an educational system should have. So again, free public education system that are available for every Filipinos regarding of your status, whether you're poor or you're rich, it could be free for everyone. So educational for Indios or native Filipinos, kind of similar to the first one, but it is more um, directed to those Filipino who are in the lower lower status. And then mass education as a foundation for freedom. He wanted a all source of education for everyone because he believed that education is a foundation for where you can learn and evolve and then later can be used as a tool for our freedom. And again, his advocacies for academic freedom, which will be later tackled for the for the following lessons. Now, cultural development, the impact of education on cultural development in the Philippines. It is how education as a catalyst for nationalism, the major roles of Chinese mestizo in social change, Hispanization of Chinese mestizo, and formation of or the reborn of a new Filipino identity. So the impact of education in our cultural development in the Philippines, Rizal firmly believed that having an education could have a drastic impact, especially in the cultural development here in our country. Now, for how an education could be a catalyst for nationalism, it is the rise of nationalism was not solely due to few influential Filipinos, but rather the wider accessibility for education, such as many Filipinos, even those who could not afford to study abroad, embraced the nationalist ideals, leading to broader national movement. Schools became a platform for discussing ideas and could be used later on for freedom or the democracy of our country and a social reform, inspiring movements like the propaganda movement and the Katipunan. So they believe that having an education was very important for you to have an idea of what was going on during that time and for you to have a knowledge to actually create um, a movement against the uh, oppressive state that the Filipino people were currently experiencing that time. So that's it all for the presentation for today. I hope you learned a lot and thank you for listening.